Welcome to English Through History. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe or leave us a review. It helps us to create more content and is appreciated by our small team here. Coffee, the aromatic elixir that has delighted the senses of millions around the world, has a rich and fascinating history dating back centuries. This humble bean, native to the highlands of Ethiopia, has played a pivotal role in the evolution of cultures, economies, and societies. In today's episode, we will embark on a journey through the intriguing history of coffee. The story of coffee's inception begins in the ancient Ethiopian region of Kaffa in the 9th century, where legend has it that a goat herder named Kaldi noticed his goats becoming unusually energetic after nibbling on the bright red berries from a tree. Curiosity piqued, Kaldi sampled the berries himself and experienced a newfound sense of alertness and vitality. The discovery of these magical beans marked the genesis of the world's love affair with coffee. Coffee remained a somewhat local secret until the 13th century, when the beans made their way to the Arabian Peninsula. It was in Yemen that coffee was first cultivated for commercial use. The Yemenis prepared a drink from roasted coffee beans, leading to the world's first coffee houses, where people would gather for lively conversations and intellectual discussions. The Ottoman Empire embraced coffee culture, with coffee houses springing up across Constantinople, which is modern-day Istanbul. The rich and aromatic brew quickly spread to Europe through Venetian traders, who introduced coffee to the European elite in the 16th century. The first coffee house in Venice, Caffè Florian, opened its doors in 1720, marking the birth of Europe's love for coffee. Soon, coffee houses proliferated throughout the continent, becoming centers of culture and conversation. As coffee houses thrived in Europe, they became hubs of intellectual exchange, nurturing discussions that would eventually shape the Enlightenment. Thinkers, writers, and revolutionaries like Voltaire, Rousseau, and John Adams frequented these establishments, where they engaged in thought-provoking conversations. Coffee houses were often referred to as penny universities because, for the price of a cup of coffee, patrons could engage in stimulating discussions. The European fascination with coffee extended to the colonial powers of the time. The Dutch were instrumental in cultivating coffee in their colonies, introducing it to Java, which is now Indonesia, and the French began cultivating coffee in the Caribbean, notably on the island of Martinique. These developments marked the beginning of coffee plantations beyond its Arabian origins. Coffee made its way to the New World via French colonists who brought coffee plants to the Caribbean. In the 18th century, coffee was cultivated in earnest in the New World, with the Caribbean and Central and South America becoming key coffee-producing regions. Brazil would eventually become the largest coffee producer in the world, a title it still holds today. The 19th century saw significant advancements in coffee production and distribution. The invention of the coffee percolator and vacuum brewing methods made coffee more accessible to households. Coffee plantations expanded, and with new technologies like the coffee bean pulper and grinder, this revolutionized the coffee industry. As demand increased, coffee trade became a global enterprise, impacting economies across the world. The early 20th century witnessed the invention of instant coffee, making coffee even more convenient for customers. During World War II, instant coffee was provided to soldiers as a source of energy and comfort, leading to the widespread practice of the coffee break in offices and factories. Coffee became synonymous with productivity and socializing, further ingraining its place in modern culture. The latter half of the 20th century show a shift towards quality and sustainability in coffee. This so-called third wave coffee movement emerged, emphasizing the importance of sourcing high-quality beans, roasting them to perfection, and brewing them meticulously. This movement revolutionized the way we perceive and consume coffee, with a focus on flavor profiles, origins, and ethnic sourcing. In the 21st century, coffee culture has continued to evolve with the growing interest in artisanal coffee and innovative brewing methods. The popularity of espresso-based drinks such as lattes and cappuccinos has soared, and coffee shops have become community hubs, serving as a meeting place for work and leisure. Today, coffee is a global commodity with over 125 million people involved in its cultivation, processing, and trading. It's a critical part of many countries' economies, and it is incredibly the second most traded commodity in the world after oil. The coffee industry is multifaceted, encompassing everything from small, sustainable farms to multinational corporations. The coffee industry faces numerous challenges, including climate change, which threatens coffee-growing regions, and ethical concerns about fair trade and labor practices. Sustainability initiatives such as shade-grown coffee and direct trade have gained momentum in response to these issues, aiming to ensure the long-term viability of coffee production. Coffee has permeated popular culture and art, inspiring writers, artists, and musicians. From famous coffee shop scenes in movies to coffee-themed novels and paintings, it is clear that coffee's influence extends beyond the cup and into our creative expressions. The future of coffee is filled with exciting possibilities. Innovations in coffee technology, sustainable practices, and a deeper understanding of coffee genetics all offer hope for the continued enjoyment of this beloved beverage. As global demand for coffee continues to grow, the industry must find ways to meet this demand while safeguarding the environment and the livelihoods of coffee so far.